With the Far Cry franchise on sale, I figured it was time for me to play the first one. Knowing nothing about the game, and I thought to myself, what the heck, how bad could it be? And, oh my god. It was really good, actually, so let's break it down. Now, as a general rule, especially when playing these older games, whenever the community page has a guide for patches up near the top, it is recommended to do so. So, in this case, I followed this simple guide that included 3 patches that basically just gave better widescreen support, made the game look a little better, and made the AI not have as bad of wall hacks. Unlike the following Far Cry games, this first one is not a true open world. Instead, it is more level-based, and with the exceptions of the tight indoor areas, most of them are large open maps with multiple different options, and it feels like a mix of Turok and Half-Life. The game opens up with this really weird Bond-style cutscene. It plays with time, jumps around a lot, but the general vibes are you are a gruff man named Jack, and some lady named Val were on a boat, it exploded, and there are these weird domo-looking things eating people. But we're able to swim to safety and arrive inside of an old Japanese bunker. We are briefly introduced to a big jerk named Crow, with his only redeeming feature being his cowboy hat, and with barely enough time to get our bearings straight, a voice hails to us from a strange comlink. This is Doyle, a friend of Val, and an inside man to help you along on the islands. It is here where we find our first weapon, the Falcon, aka the Desert Eagle. It is the only pistol in the game, and it is by far the worst gun in the game. While exiting the bunker, we are greeted with the rather gorgeous setting of the game. The vibrant green of the foliage and the clear blue ocean, it's rather picturesque, and if you're familiar with the third game, aptly named Far Cry 3, then you can see where the later game got its vibes from. But unlike the third one, this time it is you in the bright red shirt. Up ahead is a small village with some mercs in it, where you can find the machete, the worst weapon and the only melee weapon that I found, but thankfully the standard M4 rifle is nearby. It is also around here that we pick up the binoculars, and with its 24x zoom and its ability to mark people on the map, the binoculars see a lot of action. In order to escape the island and rescue Val, we have to jack this buggy and head to an old ship converted into a helicopter refueling station in order to then jack a small boat once aboard. In between each level is like this nice little loading screen. It's not really important to the story or anything, I just like the style and the vibes of them. They're really cool looking loading screens, and that's kind of unfortunately uncommon now, replaced by just black screens with little spinny icons. Once inside of the ship itself, the quality of the lighting is really apparent, and the tight corridors make for some really intense gunfights. You can never really tell what's around every corner, and can only look so fast when aiming. Reaching the deck of the ship, we start to see the level of humor this game has in store for us.
Any sign of Val?
No, not unless she was cleverly disguised as a mercenary intent on killing me.
While clearing out the top deck, it gives you a good understanding of how the NPCs are going to react to the player, so here's that with my live thoughts. Oh, that was cool, the way he freaked out. Oh, that's fun. Okay. Oh, see him fall?
It's you! Give it up, buddy!
I like how fair the game is when it comes to, like, how easy both you and the enemies are to kill. I like that. Maybe I'm weird. Entering the top area, we hear over the radio that Val is being taken to a place called The Bunker. With a name like that, you can guess how it will go. It is then that we learn more about the big bad in charge. Beautiful. Dramatic. The Bunker. California.
No sign of Val herself, but I found her camera.
Dr. Krieger is the head of the Krieger Mercenary Corps, who are in control of the islands, and he's a German scientist working on a very ominous-sounding research.
They're taking Val to somewhere called The Bunker. Where's that?
Fighting through more of Krieger's men, we eventually reach the very top of the boat, and it is unfortunately protected by a helicopter and a lot of men. That's a minigun. This is the first of what I would call a boss fight in this game, and it took me a good few tries to do. What the fuck? Why would they put a helicopter right there? What the fuck, brother? The real problem with this fight is the fact that the helicopter is right in front of the ladder, a sticky death trap to get off of, and then unprotected from both the helicopter and the mercs. Motherfucker, dude, motherfucker! Dude, there's like no place safe here. Okay, that one went slightly better. Only slightly, not by a lot. God damn it, dude. Dude, stop getting stuck on the fucking ladder! So now I just have to become a sniper. And not miss so many shots. Jesus God. I want to know what kind of life this Jack guy lived. Because he is ruthless, man. Eventually, we did beat the fight. Getting on the escape boat and struggling to cast, we are finally able to get away.
Okay, I've got a boat. Now what?
Our only chance is to disrupt the entire communications grid. That's the only way to cause enough confusion for you to escape completely.
In order to get to the communications dish, we need to sneak ashore, kill some guys, and jack another buggy, but not before getting distracted. That tree has coconuts. Is there coconut physics? There is not coconut physics. 0 out of 10. We then Halo Warthog our way up and leave the parking brake off before entering a bunker. Inside of the bunker, we find the P90, a fast-shooting but ultimately mid SMG. I really don't get much use out of it, but it was fun to shoot. More importantly, however, we get the best gun in the game, an MP5 with an integrated suppressor. Capable of totally silent full auto or semi-auto, it is a must-have for staying alive and low profile. One short elevator trip, we are back outside, and through the use of our newly acquired stealth gun, we take out and pick up a sniper rifle. With 18 times zoom and killer damage, the only downsides are that it's loud and it makes you really slow. Clearing out the ruins nearby, we find that the con center is locked down and we must hold out against a mortar boat and a helicopter. But thankfully we are gifted with a rocket launcher that has 4 quick reload tubes.
Come on, Doyle. Anytime you're ready.
Once inside the comm center, we get to witness a Zoom call with Dr. Krieger talking about his research into mutating superhumans. In hopes to control them, he uses his DNA and is basically like their dad. It's weird, but in Dr. Krieger's brilliance, he kept enough explosives to blow up the comm center unguarded, only 2 doors away from where we need to plant the charges, making for an easy escape and a job well done. Dramatic. Heading out of the ruins, we get to use a glider for the first time. I love the gliders in Far Cry 3, and I think it's really cool to see that they've been here since the beginning. Should I be worried about the helicopter flying towards me? It's here that we learn a valuable lesson on how guns work in this game. Not all guns have the longest range, and trying to kill these mercs that are out of viewing distance made it very clear that for the most part, if you cannot see them, you cannot hit them. Frustratingly enough, the same does not apply to the AI though. It seems that there are only 2 guns with true long-range capabilities, like our sniper rifle. Using its range to our advantage, I took out most of this camp, well before Doyle even told me to blow up the armory as a distraction. I cleaned up any stragglers, blew up the armory, and once again jacked a buggy, despite the engine sounds beside it. What do I hear in this room? Is there a tank in here waiting to blow my head off? Why do I feel like that's a very bad sound in there? Hello? I don't think I want to get in this buggy. One failed ambush later, and we were driving ourselves the 4-wheel drive Hummer, a slightly cooler alternative to the buggy, and eventually we reached the harbor that we had planned to leave from. Remember how I said that there were 2 long-range guns? The second is the rocket launcher. where we were able to soften up the camp by the harbor before shooting down the survivors.
They usually take important prisoners to the bunker on the other side of the island.
The other side?
They have a radar observation center there that would have spotted us. You'll have better luck cutting through the research facilities.
What kind of research?
I can't talk about that now. Just keep an eye out for anything moving. And if you see anything that looks dangerous, well...
We've moved extra ammo from the main...
Dangerous research aside, that's a lot of dudes. Scouting out the area showed a mounted mortar gun, as the game calls them. They're basically just crappy grenade launchers. Not only is it hard to aim, but the explosions are too small to be of any use without almost direct hits. It's also around this time that we will start seeing guys with helmets. They make getting headshots harder unless it's directly in the face. We grab a keycard and enter a cave that leads towards the research facility, and get a slightly better look at the domo things from the beginning. Oh god. It's probably the weird... Yep, it's the weird... Oh.
Whatever that was, I hope it was the only one.
Ha 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 ha, you're funny. That's horrifying. What the hell is that? I did not know this was going to be part horror game. The tension of suddenly not knowing what you were fighting or if guns are even effective made the darkness of the cave no longer as comforting. What used to be our shadows to hide in now houses others. Interestingly enough, much earlier in the game, I had overheard what I believed to be like a simple meta joke, but I now know is a warning.
You ever wonder what we're guarding?
What do you mean? We're guarding the comm center. What the hell do you think we're doing?
No, I mean, what are we guarding it from?
What do you mean?
Ain't you noticed that there's nobody here but us? There's no natives left, no tourists, no nothing, it's just us.
So?
So who are we guarding it from? The wild pigs, the seagulls, really pissed off starfish?
Just you wait. Someday we'll get some action. And then you'll be wishing it was seagulls and pigs.
No way, man. When the action comes, I'll be locked and loaded.
You'd better be.
But back in the caves, we have a different problem. The power went out, and the only way out is through, of course, an elevator. No power, no elevator. But all we encounter are some more mercs and researchers in our way to the generator. No monsters this time. Turning on the generator and riding the elevator, we hear more about the mutants from Doyle. They are called Trigens, and they have escaped. Fascinating. What? What? Creeping through the corridors, we hear the strange sounds from them. We get a short look through a jammed door. Passing through rooms filled with servers, computers, and dead research, we finally find one. The first one we find is already dead, thankfully. Escaping the horror of the caves, we find ourselves in a treetop research base. The Trigens are out in full force. I'll let them take care of all the Trigens and vice versa. Down below the treetops, we snag a Hummer and drive to a downed bridge and make our way up to the facility above. Once we reach the facility, we get to meet the Trigens up close, and these things hit hard. These little babies! Look at how tiny they are! Ah! Don't call them babies. Do not call them babies. Barely making it through the facility, we grab a keycard and quickly leave before the backup arrives. In order to reach the next compound, closer to the bunker, we must blow up a gate. This is where I learned just how far enemies can see. What the fuck? And I died quite a few times. Now, if we look at the minimap, we can see some very valuable info. Marked enemies show up with the direction they are looking. What color they are is based on if they are hunting you or not. Any sound you or the AI make show up on the map, and the blue dot marks the objective. Now, the in-world explanation for the markers is that Doyle marked it for us, so I was under the assumption that he marked the gate I needed to blow up, and that I should look around for the method. Turns out, the compound I kept trying to sneak into was the objective, and the blue dot marked where to get the explosives. That's not really a gripe to the game though, it's just funny and caused me a few deaths. Once armed with the explosives, I popped a hole in the wall, popped a heli, and made it deeper into the mountain. Inside of the old bunkers is where we find a shotgun, based on the Pancor Jackhammer. It is a full auto shotgun that suffers from typical video game spread damage, but overall it's a good gun. Also, I did not know it was full auto until I was writing this. I just assumed it was semi-auto and I spam clicked. I cleared this small research group with these, but shortly after, the game turned up the spook. Ah! They can come in here with me! At this point, we are fighting both humans and Trigens alike, and it will remain that way for the rest of the game, with just a few sections dedicated to just one or the other. Another thing I did not realize yet is that the mercs have begun wearing not just the helmets, but body armor as well. I had been just spraying and praying and using a shotgun, so I had not noticed that the bullets were bouncing off of their chest. The guys wearing armor also dropped a small amount of body armor that replenishes our own.
Dude, that's a really good helmet. Jeez. To tank that many bullets like that. Come on, open the fucking door. I love the fucking audio on the compass. God, the lighting in this game is so good too. This game is amazing.
Prepare for the arrival of Vulture 13.
There you are!
Damn! That was a good spot, dog.
Scared, huh?
A little. Pee-pee poo-pooed. Arrival of Vulture 13, my ass. Fuck. Shit balls. Ow!
A locator shows you near the Trigen holding pens. If you could somehow trigger the emergency release switch, you could make yourself one hell of a diversion.
True. Or I could just, you know... Oh, that's a glass panel.
I managed to kill this guy just right so that the shooting sound did not stop.
Hello? How much ammo does he have? How does he have so much ammo?
And after that, it was time to rescue Val and finally be told what we're actually doing on the islands.
Valerie Constantine, CIA. I'm here on assignment.
You could have mentioned that back in port. How did I get so lucky?
None of the other beach bombs had special forces training.
You had me checked out?
Company policy.
Then you know I'm a bit out of practice.
It's just like riding a bike.
I'm listening.
CIA has an undercover operative on this island. We lost contact almost 10 weeks ago. Doyle?
Mission accomplished.
We'll meet at Krieger's main archives after you destroy the regulator.
After she Batmans away from here, we fight some dudes for a boat and then assault the beach for a pair of thermal goggles that will help us once inside of the regulator.
I suggest you avoid the open sea. Their radar systems will pick you up easily on the water. They have attack helicopters guarding this whole area.
Okay. Cool. Great. That's literally just cheating. That was an insta-kill. He spawned from the ocean and one-tapped me because I tried to circle around. Thanks, game. Very cool.
We have to contend with multiple long-range boys on our way to this regulator, a well-protected facility that is the main source of power throughout the islands. We are tasked to kill the foreman for his blueprint so that Doyle can figure out the best way to destroy the regulator. One helicopter later, and we proceed to the next mission, which starts off with just some more of the same. Get across the island past some small compounds, so using my rocket launcher as a sniper for the long-range guys, I do just that. Once inside of the regulator, it is a fight to grab 4 keycards, all different colors, in order to access the valves that will allow us to overpressure the regulator. And I died to the gas, but in my defense I am stupid. But after gathering all of the cards again, and wandering around, I found the other wheel to spin and was able to turn on all 3 valves. After that, I had died again just trying to test if the game was bugged. Inside of a large circular room with more security guys, you will find the G3, an assault rifle, but this time with a scope. It technically also has a grenade launcher on the bottom, but it takes me many hours to realize this. It would be better in every way to the M4, but because it has a scope and not irons, it constantly unzooms when you walk, and that is very annoying. We push this glowing spacebar to blow up everything, and Val tells us to hide in a vent. It is only at this point, with my new handy-dandy scope, that I realized about the body armor. Silly me. But seeing as we shut off the power, the Trigens all broke out and started the fall of man.
Jack, can you hear me? Jack?
Yeah, I'm here. What is it?
Jack, the area's full of Trigens. Looks like they're mutating humans, not just animals. Don't come down here. It's far too dangerous. What's...
Doyle, what are you gonna do? You can't just leave her down there to die.
There aren't a whole lot of options, Jack. Hell, she's halfway across the island from you.
Can you lead me to her?
I can give it a shot.
Right then. I'm going in.
In order to save Val again, we now have to fight through a lot more Trigens. With the tight corridors against humans, you have the advantage, but the Trigens have speed and Mad Hop, so it's pretty scary down there. It is at this point that the game leans the heaviest into the horror vibes, and it's pretty cool. Deeper inside of the maze of a facility, we find the tests of an even larger Trigen, and naturally they gave him a gun. It's not much longer until we find some for ourselves, and those weren't just guns, they were rocket launchers! And don't ask me how, but these guys speak.
Give it up.
Ow! But due to my high ground advantage, I was able to come out on top. Somehow, even lower down we went, and the game does the coolest thing, obscuring your vision so we need to use the thermals. I don't know why, but I thought it was a lot cooler that it was an environmental thing, rather than just being literally invisible. Finally, once we're outside again, the walls have been breached. Mercs versus mutes in full. This is not the only time they will do this, and unfortunately, the best strategy is to just hang low, because should you get involved, not only are you wasting ammo, they will single you out over the horde of mutes. The stealth really has been the strongest part of the game, and with how hard it is to kill Trigens, it's really not advised to start anything with them unless you have a car with a 50. Past this compound is a winding road covered in Trigens, and I mistakenly took a glider and was unable to get even halfway across the map. Unsurprisingly, I died, and I took a Hummer instead. Remember, 50 cal, go burr. But boulders blocked the way, so I had to hop out, and it was at this point in the game when trying to switch to semi-auto that I found out about the grenade launcher. And just like all of the other explosives in this game, it sucks. By now, I had given up all hope of actually using any of the grenades, and anytime I try, I end up regretting it. And just beyond those boulders, where pain lies, and it lies in the shape of rocket snipers. You see, I don't have a sniper rifle anymore, and across the map is multiple long-range boys. While the rocket launcher technically is a sniper rifle, as previously discussed, even proned, the weapon sway makes it impossible to hit anything at the max distance. So I died here many times. But, through the power of hiding behind a jeep and praying, I was able to kill the killer before the killer killed me. We're now finally about halfway to the archives where Val is trapped. But in order to get into the archives, we must first make it into the outer archives, and in order to do that, we must make it through this big battle that, upon killing one of the bad guys, seems to be damn near infinite.
Oh, does bro just respawn? Did you see that?
I tried to sneak around to the backside, but the compound was built along a cliff edge, so I had to go in through the front. With only a little bit of ghosting, zombies, I don't know, I managed to get inside once the fighting had mostly ended.
Why does bro flinch like this? He's dead, but not dead. That's why. Okay. You're not gonna shoot the enemy soldier right there? Oh, he's another dead! Ow, but not dead.
And it was now time for some more CQC. Inside of this USG Ishimura looking place, we find ourselves a new kind of Trigen, humanoids that have invisibility. While these stealth Trigens look frail, just like all Trigens, they are surprisingly resilient. But the thermal makes them glow just like any other, so they don't add to the horror any. And they also make the same constant grunting sound, so you always know that they are there.
Oh, they're literally invisible. That's horrible.
Finding another elevator, we are once again transported down into the depths, but this time we can abuse the doors to point and laugh at this little silly baby Trigen. Down here we discover a new type of merc, all blacked out elite guards, heavily armored and with good sight thanks to the thermal goggles they wear all the time. But just aim for the head and it's fine. See, I love the room that you fight them in, and it doesn't seem to have much purpose other than storage, but going thermal v thermal in a dark area is just really cool to me. Past them, we have more dark, tight hallways with stealth Trigens, but if you've played Outlast like I have, link in the description. Flashing yourself the thermals to save battery is second nature. Coming out of the back of the Outer Archives, we find a lot of elites and plenty of snipers, all in between us and the Archives. But with just time and thermals, counter-sniping is pretty easy, and honestly, the AI seems to not be so bullshit here, thank God. So it was not long before we were in the Archives, where I died. Unlike the last fight with the elites, not as much cover, and they run fast as fuck, it's kinda scary. Going slow, I was able to avoid another death, and we find ourselves in an elevator for the 100th time, and down into the Archives proper, where the game starts off the next mission like a Chad. Ooh, is that a boss fight? Is that gonna be my boss fight? Oh, you shouldn't have. Is that a giant penis? Or is that an umbilical cord? I would actually prefer the penis in this take, you know? I don't want to know what that baby is.
You've made it through the dockyard area, so you should be much closer to Val now.
Did you just say it's him? Why do you guys know me?
Is that shot?
God dang. Dude, this is one hell of an entrance, dude. Fuck, talk about a fucking intro to a level. Jesus, fuck. Down here, somewhere, we can find Val. But first, we gotta get through more elites and fat boys. Talk about being stuck between a rock and a hard place. With the keycard, we can find a large chamber that is the actual location of the Archives at the bottom. Of course, lots of killing, but finally to the Archives themselves. What exactly are the Archives, you may be asking? Trigens and piss tubes. That's it. Just archives of Trigens, not even the research papers. And no, Val isn't here. She's just near here. First, we need to go through a door, get jump scared, down in an elevator. How are they still shooting? Bro. Fight some more elites and fat boys, go up some stairs, fight our way down some stairs, and flood this giant chamber that does something or another related to mutation. Then, as it floods, climb into a vent in the ceiling, and out into a flooded old messed up part of some random building that I don't know how Val got here. Die to a fat boy mad hook, so I gotta crawl through some vents again, and only then get to the chick.
There's some bad news. I've been trying to call in help from outside to get us out of here, but there's a problem. Krieger has set up an electromagnetic field which is blocking any external transmissions. We're being jammed. Okay, I'll leave you here and take Val to Pagao, where Krieger's main laboratory is. I've placed the objectives on your radar, so you should know where to go. By the way...
It was you bastard! I'm gonna find you and rip your throat out. I know where you are, and I'm on my way there now.
Jack, switch to the new frequency now.
Now you've done it, Doyle. Your friend sounds like he's pretty pissed.
Damn it. He knows I'm in on it, and he can track us with my LSI. We've got to hurry.
Oh no! Anyway, this mission is kind of just a fun one. Nothing really new. Just take out camps, blow up 3 towers. I really enjoy these like Far Cry sections they have. The whole game is just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. So it's cool to see where the series goes from here. There is like a boss fight at the end, but it's not that interesting. So let's just get to the live gameplay. Oh, I can kill the fish.
Done. Where now, Chief?
Just a sec. There it is. Northwest of your current location.
Bro is fishing with a gun in his hand. That's
Really?
impressive. Oh, that's gonna be a problem.
What was that?
Bro, what the fuck? The hell kind of vision that motherfucker got? Or has Ultra Instinct, dude. Okay, he's coming back my way, but that means he's facing towards me, which means he's killable. Bro. Trying to make no noise, so I didn't have anybody down there confused, but they're a little confused. Did he... Is that from him? Did he break my fucking bridge, dude? Is that what happened? Fuck off, brother. Did that cheeky bastard blow up my bridge, or is that bridge a ruse? He blew out my bridge. That son of a bitch.
Oh yeah.
I hit the second tower?
Smell of prom-
Bro. Can I drive the truck? Oh. Yes! Bro, I don't even steer the big truck, but I can drive the motherfucker. Yes, dude. It's just a rip-off of a Maz. I love it. Why does no vehicle in this place have parking brakes? Oh, that one's just floating. Goddamn.
That should do it. Are we finished here?
Hang on a minute. This is strange. The signals are still jammed. Crow must have a backup somewhere.
Let's just follow this random road. I'm assuming this probably leads to the next objective because this is a linear game. And I get to drive big truck, so... Right in the dick! Come along, big truck. We have much to do. Away! Ahoy! Ah, I love the way you stick to the ground, big truck. You and me against the world, big truck. I like that.
25 seconds? I've got to get the hell out of here.
Oh
Maybe in front of
no.
the ship will be safe.
What do you mean, front of the ship? Just get off the ship, dumbass. I swear to God, if this like game overs me or something. No.
I did my part. Get us out of here.
We've got incoming. Signal identified. It's Crow.
Hang on. I'll take him down.
Okay, maybe I should have stayed on the boat. Especially because I'm almost dead now.
You're gonna pay for that, Carver. I'm gonna end your little adventure right now.
Okay. Cool. Should have just listened to the game instead of my gut, which was just get off the boat. Why would the boat survive the explosion? That doesn't even make sense. I don't see how the boat would have survived the explosion, honestly. That's a talented aircraft and whatever. Bro, really? This is a shitty boss fight. Like, it's just... don't even make sense, dog. Such a lackluster ending.
Down.
Well, I already got 3 or 4 hits now. Guess not. Damn. What the fuck is wrong with these helicopters, man? This is so janky.
He jumped. He's swimming for Pagao.
What are you waiting for? Take him out.
I'm coming for you first, Jack. He's shark food. I'm sorry, Jack. We need some critical information kept on a PDA my colleague Dr. Anderson had with him. Fortunately, I know where he died. I'll lead you to the area where he was reported missing and help you find it by using the tracking system. Then I'll need you to
Oh, the
upload it
ship
to
is
my
going down.
associates.
Oh, that's fun.
I'll tell you when and how to do that.
I like
once
that.
you've got the PDA.
Oh, okay. Sure, I guess there's more game. That sucked. That was cringe. That was kind of a, you know, subpar boss fight.
Near this location.
Oh, hi!
I've got
Oh, he's dead. I did it again. I broke the violence encounter because I... Who's real? Who's real? Are you real? That's real. Not anymore, he's not. Oh, that one's real. Only the ones that are shooting are real. So you're real. Ow. He's real, because he's jumping around like a real one. You're dead now. Yep, you're dead now. All that's left is Jumper and the shooter. Night night. Cool. Alright, thank you. What a lovely game. Scenes like this that just makes you appreciate the little things. Like how well this game works. I shall take a screenshot to commemorate the moment. Can I ride the helicopter? Nope. Okay, the ropes are just magical too. Yeah, it did not like me immediately running away. It was the smart choice though. Oh. Aha. Now, this boat part sucked. Trying to drive and shoot at the same time is hard enough, but with the weird boat physics, it just made it even worse. But eventually, I found out the best thing to do is to just steal a good boat and blow everything up. After some more stealth Vietnam, we were finally able to kill Crow, and as per usual with this game, it was very anticlimactic. But I was still happy to have that done. After some needless fan service, the only explanation we really got is that Doyle is an inside man for the CIA, and that Val is gonna nuke the place. Wait, what?
If we want to make sure we take both out, we're gonna need to get the nuke.
For once in his life, Jack is not the stupidest person on the island.
The nuke? Are you crazy?
Now with Val on our side, the usual camp clearing is more interesting. But after Camp Gone Loud, we get ourselves an on-rails section. And it's alright, I guess. Definitely better than the boat one, but it ended just as quickly as it started.
Whoa, I'm not touching a nuke. Not even a little tiny one.
Nobody's asking you to, tough guy. I'm qualified to arm it.
You see, Val has this thing called a thirst for blood. Not only is she gonna drop a fucking nuke, even though she said to sneak her in, she keeps her MP5 on full auto and will not hesitate to start shit if someone so much as smells us. Getting to the control center, Val informs us that we need to sneak into the headquarters and find the nuke's arming device. Naturally, the MP5 carries. It isn't long before we have the arming device and Val is shooting up a camp.
Damn it, they're good.
Well, it wouldn't be a problem if somebody didn't just open fire.
Damn it, they're good. No, you're just fucking bad. The nuke in question is conveniently already loaded onto a forklift, and on our way out, we get a concerning call from Doyle. He warns us that the radiation of the nuke might mutate the mutation and mutate us if we don't mutate ourselves in an anti-mutation serum. Once again, leaving Jack of all people to be the voice of reason.
What is this? A bad spy movie? You two are gonna get us all killed.
Now we have to clear the way to the main research compound to plant the nuke, all while Val follows behind on her little forklift. Judging by all the banging and clanging of the literal nuke...
Dude, why are you smashing things? You have a fucking nuke. Drive careful. Stop that! Bro, that's a nuke!
I can only assume she is not forklift certified. Just for fun and to push the capabilities of the Deagle, I cleared out a section of elite guards with it, and it was a pain in the butt. After about 10 conveniently forklift-sized doors, we take the serum and have to hold out while Val very slowly, I mean carefully, arms the nuke. I get good use of the G3 scope here as they just kept lining up in front of me. With the nuke armed, we make a run for it, and despite what Val said earlier, we were in fact not out of range and upwind by the time it went off, getting knocked out in the process. We then woke up in a helicopter captured by Dr. Krieger, and endured his speech about surpassing human evolution before getting kicked out of the chopper. Barely managing to survive the fall, we picked out our trusty M4, only to discover they took all of our weapons, and worse, the one gun we do have only have 10 rounds. That is only 1/3 of the total magazine. We are down to 3 rounds left after only the first encounter and must make a run through the Trigen-infested jungle. With some luck, we came across a downed chopper and made use of its miniguns to hold off the horde of freaks, before being informed by Doyle that the only way out is through a well-guarded gate. waiting for the Trigens to take out all the mercs we get past. But right as we reached the armory, we realized that we started to turn green. The serum was not enough to stop the mutation. If we don't hurry for an antidote that Krieger has, Jack and Val will become Shrek and Fiona. To get there as fast as possible, we play a little GTA for the 20th time of the day. This really short section of driving took me like 7 tries because I kept falling into the lava. But I had better results ditching the Hummer. Using some aggressive stealth tactics, we quickly broke into the headquarters, where Krieger is keeping Val for some reason. Krieger's bodyguards in the foyer are a real pain in the butt. Once the door behind you shuts, they spawn in and already know where you are. I'd say that's when they spawn in, because for one attempt, I tried pre-firing with a rocket launcher and nothing happened. Just behind them, though, lies the final boss, Dr. Krieger himself. Somehow, in the short time since we last saw him, his mutation steroids buffed his ass, and the last handful of elite guards won't stop chucking nades. I even get one attempt where I died right after killing him, so I had to do it all over again. But even in death, Dr. Krieger was a drama queen and figures we only have 1 hour to live.
Give it another hour.
The old man was always one for melodrama. Too bad he had no head for business.
Doyle.
This is the part where he betrays us. Not surprising.
Of course I would. Working for the government taught me that where there's a weapon, there's money to be made.
After the unsurprising turn of events, we go down an elevator, drop off Val, go up an elevator, and then go back down the elevator to the worst part of the whole game, the infamous volcano. The devs were nice enough to give us an armory to stock up, but unfortunately the door to the main area closes behind us, trapping in with about 10 poorly copy and pasted fat boys and some jumping boys. This area really gives the vibes of late game Demon Ruins and Dark Souls, including the poor design. I died quite a few times through this hell, and only made it through by sheer luck. The range of the sniper and thermal are really all I can suggest for this part. Beyond that, it's just trial and error. Once we scrape past, we get our last elevator ride of the game, up to the only time that the grenades were useful for some tightly packed elites guarding Doyle's ass, who died like the coward that he is. We take the fastest acting antidote and sail off into the sunset, thus ending the first Far Cry in a little over 10 hours. You can really see where the later games get their DNA from, though I wish they kept with some of the horror vibes. To my knowledge, despite the namesake of the series, nothing about the Trigens appear in the other games. But please correct me if I'm wrong though, because I have not played all of them. Yet.